I am so sorry that it's been nearly 9 or 10 months since the last Jigsaw Blogs reaction video. I am so sorry. Look, I've explained this before. I have to find the time to record these things and record these types of longer videos, and I apologise in advance, but we're finally here. I am going to try and make this more of a regular thing, so we'll see what happens. But yes, welcome back to the Jigsaw Blogs. This was part of the Saw fan film universe that I've been reacting to over the last couple of years, I think. And we did the first video, I think it was almost like 9 or 10 months ago. I do apologise, but this follows Jacob as he discovers that John Kramer might still be around. This is set during the time of the film Jigsaw, so there's a scene in it where they try to prove that, John Kramer is actually dead. They open up John Kramer's coffin, there's another body in it. And that's how episode 1 of this series ends, was Jacob seeing the news report. And then he finds out that his friend, who used to own a Jigsaw fan page, has been sent a box with no label on it or anything. And Jacob says, give me the box, because he started getting an interest in this stuff again and finding out what's going on. And then the last one that we watched in the last video, he reveals that he's a teacher. And he basically says that, the students in my class seem to have more of an interest in me talking about Jigsaw, the Jigsaw Killer, the philosophy behind it all. And he realises that he was basically a lot more popular when he was talking about that rather than the subject he was actually teaching. And so he's like, I need to get that box off of his friend Mark. So that is where we're at. So I think it's episode 5 we're up to. Episode 5 is where we're up to. It's called What's in the Box. So I'm guessing this episode is going to be the one where he's actually got the box. I think, Jacob, you're completely messing around with things you shouldn't be, because I think what I said quite a lot with the last video as well. So, this isn't going to be a very long video as well. I'm going to be reacting to episodes 5, 6, and there's 2 evidence files. So this is going to be a shorter video than the first one, but it's very warm in this room. It's going to get warmer now that it's summer, so I'll probably be doing shorter videos, but I want to do these reactions more regularly because I have been, not been doing them as frequently as I would have liked. I'll put a timestamp in the comments to when I actually start the reactions, because this was a long intro. So this is episode 5, What's in the Box. Okay, Jigsaw Blog episode 5, this is 11th of the 9th, 2017. Jacob Walters. Okay, Walton. Hi, it's been a while.
Now I know what you're all thinking.
Okay.
It's 1 o'clock on a Wednesday. Why am I recording a vlog right now? Shouldn't you be at work?
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It turns out I have been suspended from school for 2 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah. And you want to know why I got suspended?
I think I can take a guess.
Because I was educating students about a serial killer and promoting his work.
Yeah, but you weren't... No.
Yeah. Apparently, our new principal didn't like the fact that I was talking to kids and educating them about the understandings of a serial killer.
But they were also asking you questions.
And to make matters worse,
this is what we just talked
she looked me dead in the eye and told me that come February, she will not be recommending back to the board. In other words, I'm out of a job. So you understand my frustration right now.
So is he just out of a job from this school,
doing
or
nothing,
just in general?
I'm going to do my best to try and find a job. And you know how hard it is for a teacher
that
gets fired come in October during the school year to try and find another job?
Yep.
It's almost impossible to find another one, let alone a teacher's been teaching for 4 years.
Yeah. That ain't going to be fun.
I honestly don't know if I'm going to teach again. I mean, I let my mom down, let my grandma down.
See, I thought that's what he meant. Like,
I grew up in a
he's
family
out of the teaching profession.
Something I always wanted to do.
And that's it.
I even picked up coaching last year, for Pete's sake. And now I'm not going to get the opportunity to do these things anymore. Because I told the truth.
But they were also asking you questions.
And to be honest,
and you just answered.
I still think I did the right thing.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I did the right thing because kids came in, they were scared, they were afraid,
Yeah,
they didn't know
exactly.
what was going on, and they kept asking about Jigsaw, and you know what? I told them everything I knew.
And they want,
I
they
did the
wanted
best
that
I could to
information.
get those kids under control.
Yeah.
I did the best I could to educate them and help them understand John Kramer.
Yeah.
But I guess
They
this
don't
is
see it
what
that way.
I get for telling the truth and trying to preach his message.
Yeah, they don't see it that way.
So I decided to make this video today because something finally came in the mail today.
Oh God, here we go. I'm so nervous
This
about
right
this.
here. This is the box.
It's not what I was
that Mark
expecting, I'll be
sent me.
honest.
Now, I got it today. I went ahead and took tape off it, but I have yet to open it just yet.
I thought it was going to
I
be
know
metal for
I'm
some
really
reason.
giddy right now, but it's one of those things where I just had to let you know what all's going on with me, and then
Yeah.
we can go ahead and we can open the box, and then you all can see what's actually in the box for the first time I see it. And what I decided to do was, I got my camera right here.
Cool.
So when I open this box, I'm going to turn this thing on, and you can see both sides.
Cool.
I never edit before. I got told in one of my last videos, go ahead and edit, man, because you ramble way too long. Well, you know
Oh,
what?
it's just
My
what
videos,
I've been
I'm not
doing
this
in my
news.
intro.
I'm just doing this to report because history deserves to hear from both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try this today, and hopefully this will work out better and make the people who want to see more edits in these videos a lot more happy, okay? But before
That's what I
do,
get sometimes. Some people,
Mark said in this
some
email
people
right
tell
here
me,
to
"Oh,
go
your
ahead
intros are
and
sometimes a
pick
bit
up
too long."
a mini
Sorry.
tape recorder because apparently there's a small little tape player in here without a tape recorder. And I know what you're thinking. Do they still make those things anymore? It's
Yeah.
2017. I guarantee they make things from back 2004, 2006.
I don't think they were in production anymore, were they?
Lo and behold, they do.
Oh.
After hours of being online, looking up at stores,
Yeah,
I
but-
went to a pawn shop in Constantine Avenue.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah,
And
okay.
Pete Block, a nice guy up there that works a shop up there, decided to go ahead and let me buy this for $40. But you know how hard it was to find a working version of these things?
Yeah.
I'll tell you how hard it was to find one of these things. It's really hard to find.
Okay, that was good.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I've been having fun with these things.
Yeah, I was gonna
So,
say.
excited.
Trying
Anyways,
to figure it out and
so
stuff.
let's go ahead and get. Let's go ahead and get this.
No,
started.
no,
Excuse
no,
me. I'll be right back.
no, no! Don't do the horror thing. You'll be right back, will you?
That was the mailman. Turns out Mark was holding out on me. There's 3 boxes. As you can see right here.
Oh,
1, 2,
because he only mentioned one, I think.
and 3.
Like Mark only mentioned one. I
So
don't
apparently
think.
there's 3 boxes he didn't even bother to tell me about. Which, hey, more
Yeah.
information. That's great.
I don't
But I am
think.
kind of worried because this stuff, he did say it scared him. And usually Mark's kind of guy, based on his forms, he doesn't scare easy. So I'm going to put a little discretion right here. I
Okay.
don't know what's in this box. I don't know
Okay.
if there's like human remains or nothing like that in this box or anything like that.
I
but
don't think the
I'm
other
gonna warn
two
anybody
boxes
right
were for
here.
Mark. I
What
think
you're
they were
about
for
to see
you.
might be very disturbing.
I'm
Okay.
so concerned. You're
So,
giddy. I'm
I guess I'll open
nervous.
Mark's first box first, but hang on. Oh, another letter from the second box
I'm
here.
so
Go ahead,
stressed.
open it. It's from Mark. He's got his address.
That's great.
Just a note in here. I'll go ahead and I'll read it to you all. How about that?
Let's stop. I don't like
What he
this.
has to say here.
I think we got like 2 minutes left of this video as well.
Mark gave you up. Please take care of everything. I will contact you again soon. The organ donor.
Oh, wait.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, let's give this a shot, shall we?
Wasn't that the code name for like the current copycat? Okay.
This is weird.
It's not that weird.
Here we go. Picture files.
Jill Tuck. Oh god, okay, I'll have to go back on that because I don't know what that said.
FBI, Jill Tuck.
There was Jeff there as well. Dr. Gordon. Yeah, Rig for number 4.
Well, okay then.
I don't think this box was Mark's one. I think this was yours.
Mark said something about this player not working.
What does it say?
Play me.
Play me.
Might be covered in some sort of wax or something.
Is that for number 4? Okay, apologies if my face cam looks different. I've just had to change my battery out. Okay, let's go. Oh, Captain Matthews. I know who you are, Amanda. The tape is from Saw 4. Saw 1. X marks the spot. This from Saw 1. How did he get some of this stuff? Like, how did he get the photo? Oh, come on! Okay, we're just gonna go straight to the next one. Yeah, how did he get the photo from Saw 1? It's the 8th of the 12th. We've skipped a bit.
Okay, I just want to let you know, I apologize. I haven't made any of these videos in, gosh, how long has it been?
Sorry.
7, 8,
I've got the subtitles on now.
roughly 9 months.
Sorry.
I gotta let you know, first things first. I'm okay, guys. I mean, I'm fine. In fact, better than that, I feel great.
Why?
I mean, all I've been doing these last several months is I've been researching a lot more. I've been collecting brand new information. I've been in contact with more people from JigsawRules.com, and they've been generously helping me out with collecting brand new things and doing a little bit more research. And I gotta tell you guys, this excitement I've had balled up inside me, it's back.
Where are you filming
I feel like
from?
I'm 16 years old again.
This doesn't look like your house.
I got the passion, the excitement, the researching about more individuals.
This is like a month
and their
later, I
backgrounds
think,
and their
by the way.
stories, and what motivated
like,
them, and why they were
couple months
chosen, and what they
later?
did for the past. I mean, it's all there, and I feel
Okay.
great. And it's all thanks to John Kramer. So, yeah, guys, I mean, I'm doing fine. I know it's been a while,
not convinced.
but don't worry about me. So, but anyways, I want to address a few things before we move on, and I got to show you all what's behind this door right here that I've been working on these last several months.
Oh,
First things
okay.
first, yes, I am aware of those recent Jigsaw attacks that's happened recently. And you
Okay,
wonder why I haven't been seeing any video messages or anything like that. Why haven't you posted anything like that? And the answer is simple, guys. The person or people out there that is doing these crimes, it's not John Kramer. It's not Jigsaw.
There we go. We got there eventually.
And the fact that the media keeps telling you that it's probably Jigsaw or whoever they think it is, it doesn't need to be addressed by me anymore. And I'll tell you why. Because he is dead. He's dead, guys. I showed you in my last video a copy of his death certificate.
Yeah.
You don't get much more dead than that.
What was in the
You
other
saw
two
his
boxes,
photo,
though?
You saw the toxicology report, everything.
Yeah, but you
The
didn't
dude's
show
dead.
us the other two boxes.
So
like,
it's
what was
not
there in the
him
other
committing
ones?
these crimes. And
Yeah,
I just
it's
want to
Logan.
say out there to the person who's doing these crimes, whatever you've done with John Kramer's body, please return it. This is not funny anymore. You're
Yeah.
not going to play this game anymore and get away with it. Alright? Now, having said that, I still haven't heard back from Mark. I still haven't heard any messages from the organ donor lately. Which, you know, I guess that's okay. I guess they're fine. I tried to send Mark a couple emails a couple weeks ago, and he still hasn't gotten back to me. But I'm sure he's fine.
I don't
And
think
like I
he's
said,
fine.
as soon as I get more information from the organ donor, I will let you guys know immediately.
I don't think he's fine.
But right now, I think it's time for you guys, for me to show you what's behind this door.
Yeah,
right
what the
here.
hell?
And I want to warn anybody right now, what you're about to see may be disturbing, okay?
You said
But
that last
for
time.
historical purposes, I'm going to show you everything that I've recovered so far. So come with me.
Oh. Yeah, you got to take the camera with you.
Alright, here we go.
Where is this? This isn't your house, is it? Okay.
As you can see, I've been very busy these last couple of months.
Yeah.
Everything collected from Mark, the
So
organ
the
donor,
officers.
potential Jigsaw victims,
Yeah.
everything. Now, I know what you're all thinking.
Okay.
Is any of this stuff even real? I mean, did the organ donor just fabricate all this stuff right here? Or did he get credible sources? Well,
Trying to see
in
what the
2 out of
photo
his
is
3
behind him.
boxes, he reveals that some of these items came from the desk of Detective Mark Hoffman. Let's
Okay.
take a look in the first box.
We have more hard
Oh,
copy
okay.
information,
Hey,
such as complete
Bobby
works
Dagan.
of fiction,
I love that.
flash
That's great.
drives, including USB drives with more physical
Yeah, that
hard
makes
copy
sense
evidence.
that it would be fiction by
More
this
cassette
point. Like
players,
people
as
have
well
found
as
out he was
cassette
lying.
tapes, not just of Jigsaw, but also somebody else. More
Okay.
on that in another video.
Oh no!
This
Show
last
us
source
now.
of information comes from this box right here.
Okay.
It's a bag
Cool.
full
What's
of
in it?
files from the
Oh,
FBI.
FBI.
And which FBI agent, you ask? Take a closer look.
Is
See
that
who this
Eric
bag belongs to.
Matthews?
You guessed it. Special Agent Peter Strom.
Ah,
How he
okay.
got this
Sorry, I couldn't
bag
tell who
from
it
Peter
was.
Strom after he went AWOL from the FBI, I'll never know. If I had to guess to what happened, when Strom survived his game back at the Gideon warehouse,
Yeah.
somehow he went AWOL and took all of the information on the Jigsaw files from the FBI offices,
That's correct.
put him
Yeah.
in this bag right here, and took it with him so he can go out and go
Yep.
all cowboy and try to solve this case by himself.
This is Saw 5. He's
Unfortunately,
talking
I don't
about.
think it worked out for him because he wound up dead. As you can see, there is a lot
Yeah.
of
So I'm
information
guessing they
here
must
that
have
we need to
recovered
go
his dead
over.
body at some
So,
point then.
let's begin.
In.
This is the story of Jigsaw.
Okay. Tell us a story. All were either poisoned or trapped. Okay. Story of
In
Jigsaw.
the beginning, John Kramer had a pretty good life. Along with his parents, he grew up with 2 older brothers, Robert and William. Both
Okay.
of them passed away while serving in the war overseas.
Okay.
John was
Interesting.
always a builder growing up. His very first thing that he created was his very own tricycle. This inspired him to become a civil engineer. Years
Cool.
later, he married his future wife, Jill Tuck, and they were expecting their first child, who they decided to name Gideon.
Yep.
For a gift for his son, John created
Hey,
a
the little
small wooden
puppet.
toy and named it Bobby in reference to his older brother. He and his business partner, Art Blank, founded the company called the Urban Renewal Group, which is a branch off of John's former company, Gideon. His wife, Jill Tuck, also decided to open a clinic for recovering addicts.
Mhm.
But one night, 2 drug addicts named Cecil Adams and Amanda Young broke into the clinic, and Cecil accidentally caused Jill to lose her baby.
Yep.
Overcome with grief, John grows distant from Art and Jill decides to leave John. Soon after,
I'm
he
interested
is
to know
told by
how
Dr.
you
Lawrence
found
Gordon
out about some
that
of this
he has
stuff.
an inoperable
Like in
frontal lobe
world,
tumor.
in this world,
Seemingly
like
running
how
out
did
of
he find out
options,
about this?
John tries to commit suicide by driving off a cliff, but somehow he survived. This is believed to be the moment that led John to his path in becoming Jigsaw.
Okay.
His first victim is Cecil Adams, whose body was later discovered by Detective David Tapp,
Okay.
which was covered in razor wire.
See,
There was
this
a
kind of
small
stuff makes a
jigsaw
bit of
piece of
sense. 'Cause
skin
it's like,
missing
oh,
from his body,
you would have recovered
thus
like
giving
police
John his
reports
brand
and
new
stuff
nickname,
to
Jigsaw.
get the information about like
The first
Cecil
time
and
that
stuff like
Jigsaw
that.
used his new puppet was a test involving 2 rival gangs. This puppet was nicknamed Billy,
But it's
which is
stuff
presumably
like
named
Jill's
after John's
miscarriage.
other brother,
I
William.
don't know how you would know
The 2
about
victims'
that.
names
I don't know.
were Masaku Ito, which is a member from the Yakuza, and Ronnie Navarro, which is a member from the Blood Eye Dealers. Both men died in a tug-of-war-like trap that involved acid. This jigsaw trap, along with the footage of the Billy doll, gives Detective Mark Hoffman the idea
don't-
to get revenge
Sorry,
on his
I don't
sister's
remember that
killer,
trap.
Seth Baxter.
This Hoffman fellow's got an interesting story, but I'll cover that in another video.
Okay.
After creating a deadly game and framing Jigsaw for Seth's death,
That was the
it is
painkiller
believed
trap.
that Jigsaw somehow convinced Mark Hoffman to work for him.
Okay.
With victims dying
Yep.
from these traps, such as Mark Wilson and Paul Lee, there was bound
Yep,
to
so the
be
razor
a
wire
survivor.
and the
Enter Amanda Young.
numbers trap.
Believe me, there's a lot to cover with her.
She
Yeah,
was placed
there
in
is.
the infamous reverse spirit
There's a
trap
lot.
and managed to escape with her life. Having survived her trap, it is presumed that John Kramer took it upon himself to make Amanda Young his new apprentice.
Okay, yep.
One of Amanda's first jobs was to help John set up the bathroom game for Lawrence Gordon and Adam Stanheimer. Both
Okay.
men were chained in an underground bathroom and must find a way to escape. Dr. Gordon was instructed to kill Adam, or else a Jigsaw recruiter named Zepp Hindle would kill his family. It turns
Okay.
out Zepp was poisoned by Jigsaw and forced to do his bidding, which included kidnapping Allison and Diana Gordon, along with other tasks.
Because you found the
More on
photo
that
earlier.
in
Yeah,
another
okay.
video. Thankfully, Allison and Diana managed to escape with the help from Detective Tapp. Back in
This
the
is all going
bathroom,
back to Saw
Dr.
1.
Gordon managed to escape by cutting off his own foot.
I mean, wouldn't you? For your family?
Yeah, so
Zepp
this
Hindle
goes
was
back
killed
to,
by
yeah, because
Adam
he found the
and is
photo in
left
that
to
first
die by
box.
Jigsaw,
So yeah,
which, as we
it makes
see
sense
in the
that he'd
bathroom
put two
footage
and
that
two
was
together.
linked to jigsawrules.com, was actually the body in the floor, and he was there the entire time.
Oh, okay, this
Crazy.
is how you found
When
out
Dr.
about
Gordon
the bathroom
reemerges a
trap.
few
So I was
months
like, that
later,
doesn't make
he
sense,
claimed that
but
it
yeah.
was Jigsaw himself that
You
took
recovered
care
the
of him
footage
and
from
let
that
him
camera.
go for surviving his game once he was all healed up. He never could properly identify that it was John Kramer that did this to him. A few months later, Jigsaw creates a new game called the Nerve Gas House.
This is Saw 2.
Amanda Young and Daniel Matthews were the only victims to survive. By keeping Daniel Matthews alive, Amanda and John prepare for a new game, this time involving Eric Matthews, who is Daniel's father.
Yeah.
Matthews, along with detectives Carey and SWAT officer Rigg, captured Jigsaw at the Wilson Steel Factory.
This is still Saw 2.
And he practically gave up his identity to the world just for the sake of the game.
Jigsaw
Yeah,
purposely
that would
gets
make
himself
sense,
captured
actually.
in order to set up his game with Eric Matthews.
Because with all those police
Eric fails the
officers, like
test and
Rogue
escapes with
survived
Jigsaw in his
until like
custody.
4.
It was later revealed
And he was in
that
number
Daniel
2,
was
so
locked
yeah,
in the safe
obviously
at the
he'd be
same
like, yeah,
location
we know
that
who
Jigsaw and
Jigsaw
Eric
is
were in.
now. This
Daniel
is his
confesses to
identity.
police that it was Amanda Young who was the Jigsaw's accomplice,
Okay.
and that everybody in the house was presumed dead. Jigsaw and Amanda Young would later take Eric Matthews as their hostage for 6 months. As time goes on, John's cancer gets worse, and he decides to plan his final game.
All of you better pay attention to this one right here so that the twist makes sense at the end, believe me.
First, he has Hoffman kidnap Art Blank, who later survives his own
I
game.
like that
He
because
is
he's been
presumably
building
forced
this
to
up
work
for
for
months.
Jigsaw.
It really feels
Later,
like he's like,
Amanda
I'm
sets up
onto
her own
something
tests,
here. I'm onto
but
something.
makes
You
her
gotta pay
games
attention to this.
unwinnable, thus making her subjects merely victims. These victims include Detective Allison Carey. With Detective Carey gone, FBI agents Lindsay Perez and Peter Strong take over the Jigsaw investigations. The major pawns in John's final game at the Gideon Meatpacking Factory are Jeff and Dr. Lynn Denlin,
Yes,
a
this is
couple
Saw
on the verge
3.
of divorce after their son Dylan was killed in a car accident. Jeff is forced to play his own deadly game while Lynn tries all that she can to help keep Jigsaw alive. It is theorized that during this game, Amanda read Mark Hoffman's letter to her that claimed that she was with Cecil the night Jill lost Gideon, and that
Okay.
Hoffman would tell John what she did if she doesn't kill Lynn Denlin. Meanwhile, Hoffman puts himself, Eric Matthews, who's still alive after 6 months, and Art Blank all in one game for SWAT Commander Daniel Rigg. This game allows FBI agent Perez and Strong to suspect that Rigg was the next Jigsaw accomplice. The game leads Rigg to the same factory that Hoffman and Eric are at. From there,
Okay.
Eric shoots Rigg for trying to open the door to save himself.
There is a few things in
Rigg
here where
kills
I'm
Art,
like, how would you
and
know
Eric
about
is
that?
killed because Rigg triggered a trap by opening the door. All 3 men die, and
Like, you know,
Hoffman
we'd
escapes.
know about it because we watched the films.
After Perez is injured by
But
her trap,
in this
Strong
world,
enters
it's
the
not
Gideon
film.
building to pursue Rigg.
Like, this universe
That's right,
is positing that
Rigg's
it's
game
real.
took
So
place
how
in
would
the
you know
same
about
building
some of
as
this?
Jigsaw's final game. Because of Hoffman's letter to Amanda,
But I get in terms
she
of,
shoots Lynn,
you know,
and would later be
ex-
shot and
exposition,
killed
you've
by
gotta
Jeff
do this
Denlin
kind of stuff,
in
so-
retaliation. With his wife dying, Jeff kills Jigsaw by cutting his throat with a saw blade.
Again, how would you
But
know
in
about
one
this
final
though?
twist, Lynn dies from a collar trap that was connected to John's heart
Yeah,
monitor,
'cause Jeff was an
meaning
idiot.
his life and her life ended
And didn't think things
simultaneously.
through.
Jigsaw also left a
Like,
tape for
ever.
Jeff saying that his daughter, Corbett, was held hostage.
Yeah, sorry,
And once to
I'm
get
one
her
of
back,
the
he
ones
had to play a
that
game. Strom then enters
that
the
doesn't
room
like Jeff.
and would later admit to killing Jeff for
found it really
drawing
annoying.
a weapon on him. Strom is locked in a room by Hoffman, and he emerges with Jeff and Lynn's daughter Corbett from the building. as
Okay,
the
yeah,
police
it's
force
Saw
arrive.
4 now that we're going
Jigsaw's
into.
game was seemingly over.
So with Jigsaw and everybody else
Sort of.
dead at the beginning of Meat Plant, it looks like Hoffman was the only one left and proclaimed to be the hero of the whole thing. Except there was one more survivor.
Yeah, see, it makes sense
Before
that you'd know
escaping,
about this,
Strom was
though,
placed in a trap by Hoffman, but Peter somehow survived.
because it
It is
would
believed
seem
that
weird.
Strom decided
And I
that
think there
Hoffman
was like
somehow
media presence
associated
and
with
stuff at
Jigsaw.
that point.
So he decides to go after Hoffman
So,
all on
yeah.
his own. There is another Jigsaw game set up by Hoffman. This game would be renamed by Jigsaw Rules fans as the Fatal 5. There were 2 survivors during this game,
'Cause I
and they
remember
were
that as
discovered
well.
by Special Agent Dan Erickson. It is around this time that Agent Strom goes missing and presumably was killed by
Okay,
Mark
so we're
Hoffman.
up to Saw 5 now.
Strom's fingerprints would appear on a few new Jigsaw games as an attempt by Hoffman to keep framing Strom as the new Jigsaw killer.
Okay.
Agents Erickson and Perez return to work with Hoffman to help catch Strom, but it doesn't go well for them, as their
Okay.
bodies were discovered at a tech lab and presumably murdered by, you guessed it, Mark Hoffman. Reporter Pamela Jenkins somehow finds the blackmail letter and gives it to Jill Tuck. She also reveals that John Kramer left Jill a box at his will, and we later
Wouldn't
found
he have
out
always
that
thought
it was
it was
plans for a
Peter
game
Strawn
involving
who had
Pamela's
killed
brother,
them,
William
though?
Easton. As the CEO of Umbrella Health, William was the one who turned down John's health care coverage while he was still trying to find treatment for his cancer.
Who says Jigsaw doesn't hold grudges?
He is placed in
Yeah.
another game where 7 of
So
his
this is all
employees die,
6.
but 6 others, including his sister and the Abbott family,
Still a great
survive.
entry.
Unfortunately,
One of
William is
my
killed
favourites.
by being melted alive by acid.
Again, how
Jill
do you know
Tuck
about
tracks
this
down
though?
Hoffman and tries to kill him with a reverse spirit trap that was confirmed to be in the box that John left her.
I
But,
know,
once again,
it's
Hoffman
fiction and blah blah
survives.
blah, I get it.
Hoffman immediately goes into hiding while Jill heads into the protection of the internal affairs.
Yeah.
She is granted immunity in exchange for incriminating Mark Hoffman. The
Yep.
last known Jigsaw game that was set up by Mark Hoffman was for a self-help
5.
guru named Bobby Dagan,
Oh, okay,
who wrote
it's
a book
this
about
one.
claiming to be a Jigsaw survivor. Except he really wasn't.
Bobby, you wrote a fake
Which is
book
why
about
he said
surviving
that
a
book
Jigsaw
was
trap
fiction.
while Jigsaw was still alive testing people. Do you not think he was gonna go after you?
Yeah,
Because of this,
I
every
don't
one of his
understand
business
why he didn't
associates,
think that.
including his wife Joyce, all die in the
like, yeah,
process.
if you're gonna lie about
leaving
that, then
Bobby
why,
a true
yeah,
Jigsaw
why did you not
survivor
think
after
Jigsaw
all.
wasn't gonna come after you?
During this game, Hoffman leaves a trail of dead police officers just to get revenge on Jill Tuck, and he succeeds by killing her with the infamous reverse bear trap. After killing Jill, Hoffman disappeared. With Mark Hoffman gone, the game
Yep, and
seemed
this
to
is
be
where we're up
finally
to.
over.
Pretty much now, in terms of
Until now.
chronological order.
This was the photograph sent to the press containing the message that Mark Hoffman was officially, quote, out of the game right now. So is he dead? I don't know. Did he fake it just to get away from the cops? I don't know. Did the police bother to find the bathroom that he was supposedly chained up in? I don't know.
Then how was that photo
But it does
taken?
raise a lot more questions than answers, now does it? As you can see,
Yeah,
there's still
I have a
more
lot of
information that needs to be
questions.
unraveled to you people right here at home. So please tune in next time as I talk about a secret Jigsaw game that happens to involve Detective David Tapp, one that involves his son Michael Tapp, as well as
Oh,
future
God, you're
episodes
going into the
covering
games.
Jigsaw survivors, Jigsaw victims, Jigsaw accomplices,
Wow.
and any other future information that
So
I
you're
happen
not
to
just
get
including the
along way.
films.
Be sure to follow me on Twitter
Okay.
and on Instagram for more details. I'm Jacob Walton, and this has been the Jigsaw Blogs.
Awesome. Okay, I am going to pause it here for the moment then. There is a further evidence thing, but I'm going to pause it here for the moment to talk about what we've just watched. Okay, so episode 5. Yeah, so episode 5 he was like, oh, I'm really giddy to find out. I'm not, I'm nervous. Also, the fact that he got sent 3 boxes and he was like, oh, Mark didn't tell me about that. I feel like 2 of them were for you. I don't feel like they were all for Mark, because Mark only mentioned, I think, 1 box and that was it. So, yeah, and even Jacob seemed quite surprised about that. So, I said this in the last time, I don't think this is going to go well. What's interesting then is, so what was the previous date? Because he said, like, oh, it's been several months. Like, when the beginning of episode 6, he was like, oh, it's been several months since I posted anything, and that's because Jigsaw's dead. Like, Jigsaw has been proven to be dead. So, yeah, this is what he was doing in this time. I'm wondering where it's going to go now then. Because if all the evidence in that box was sent to Mark, was it just sent to him for funsies? I don't... That's my overall point, is like, okay, what was the reason for that in the first place? What's the overall goal? I think the organ donor... No, the organ donor... I can't remember. The organ donor was either the creator of the website originally, or he was the name given to this new, like, copycat. And I can't quite remember, I do apologise. So it's a bit worrying though that Jacob's like, oh, that I haven't got any contact anymore from the organ donor anymore. I think that's a little worrying. I don't think you should feel very happy about that. I also like that in episode 6, like, yeah, he seems like overly dramatic and being like, you shouldn't have done this, blah blah blah. Like, he seems very, like, showman-like, which shows that, like, you know, he's spent several months putting all this exposition stuff together, and it is pretty much a recap of all the films. Well, aside from, like, Jigsaw, which is the current timeline in this universe, and obviously Saw X. Saw X was something that people wouldn't know about. Yeah, it does make sense in his behaviour for him to be, like, quite proud and quite smug about what he's found and what he's telling. He spent several months putting all this stuff together of the exposition of the franchise and of the story. I think I mentioned it a few times, and I apologise, I'm repeating myself when we were watching it, but there are some things that don't make sense how in universe you would have got this, or anyone would have got this. There is some things where it's like, okay, that makes sense. You've got this photo or this footage from, like, police reports, or stuff was recovered at a certain scene, and then maybe they've been discarded and someone else has picked it up. That makes sense to me. What was the one that didn't make sense? There was a couple of things that didn't make sense. The photo of Mark Hoffman in the bathroom, which is, like, one of the last shots of Saw 3D, that doesn't make sense to me, because at the same time Jacob says, oh, no one's been able to find the bathroom that Hoffman is locked in. So it's like, okay, but then how did you get that photo? That looks like a screenshot. I think they've done a pretty good job with everything else of making it look like they are just photos, or, you know, stuff recovered from places. But that was the one where it was like, hang on a minute, what you're saying and what you're showing is a bit contradictory. I think everything else, they kind of made sense. The thing about Jill's miscarriage, I guess you could kind of pass that off as, you know, people would start talking, or word of mouth or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that one. There's a couple of things where I was like, okay, you got to suspend your disbelief a little more with this, with some of this. But it does make sense to why this episode is essentially here, why this video exists. You're doing an exposition of the whole franchise, just to be like, okay, if you're watching this and don't know the story of Saw, of John Kramer, I'm going to show you this, 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 and this, in a coherent and chronological way. It does make sense in that regard why this episode does exist. And I actually do applaud you, to be honest, for putting this in a straightforward way, because the Saw films kind of tell the story in a bit of a confusing way sometimes. So I do really appreciate that you've managed to figure out the proper timeline of everything. Obviously, like I said, there are going to be some things that Jacob in that universe wouldn't know yet because it hasn't happened, or it happened, privately. For example, Saw X. So it does kind of make sense. But yeah, the last two videos we've got are literally just 2 minutes each. They're called Further Evidence. So there's quite a few of these files, or videos in between the episodes to give further context to stuff. So I just thought, well, we'll do all of this and see what these are going to be and what they're going to contain. But these two videos, so Further Evidence 1 and 2, are the last two we're going to be doing in this reaction video. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so this is called Justin's phone call.
What the hell? I've been trying to call you for the last 3 days and you won't answer. I've heard about your job situation, and that sucks, man. I'm sorry.
Caller is Justin Goings.
But I've also seen what you've been doing lately.
Officer of the
videos,
13th Precinct.
The website, what you're doing.
15th of November, so this is 6
anything.
days later after the previous video.
Look, I know things have been crazy with the recent Jigsaw killings. I mean, Captain Fisk just resigned yesterday, and LaManna has been up my ass to help keep things under wraps here at the station. It's practically a zoo around here.
I don't blame him.
But as your friend, all I'm asking is that whatever you're planning on doing, don't. I don't want to see you getting mixed up with any of this stuff. You're a good man and a good friend. I suggest you dial down your videos for a while and let us do our jobs. And by the way, not all of us cops are incompetent. Anyways, Shelby and I have an extra ticket to the football game this Friday. Give me a call back and we'll go out for wings just like we did in our college days. Take it easy, J-Wall.
Okay. Who's this then?
Hey Jacob, this is Violet Anderson from JigsawRules.com.
Oh!
You might remember me by my username AViolet1.
Okay, cool.
Anyways, I'm so glad to see that you're still posting video updates about John Kramer. I mean, with the website still shut down.
What's that date? Is that the 4th of September?
Have no private outlets to interact
So I'm
with
trying
each
to
other
figure out
without being
the
ridiculed.
American
First, the cops
date
closed down
format.
House of Jigsaw, and now Jigsaw Rules 2. It's ridiculous. But that's not why I'm calling. For years, I've been trying to gather new information on John Kramer from someone like the organ donor.
Okay.
I mean, I'm one of the original 5 members of the website, and yet he decides to pass on all his information to you. I'm not sure why that is, but I'm glad to see that you're sharing it with the public. In your last video, though, I remember hearing you say something about secret Jigsaw games involving the Tapp family. If you're talking about the events at the Whitehurst Insane Asylum, I think I can help you. Please send me your email info, and if you have any credible sources, I think you'll be happy with what I have to offer. I think we can help each other and make a true difference.
Cool.
So just send me your email info, like I said. Give me a call back when you can, and I hope to hear back from you soon.
Cool.
Bye.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so what was the date on the previous Further Evidence thing? So the previous date was the 15th of November. Oh god, okay, so the Violet's voicemail was months later. God. It was nearly a year later. Because it was September, right? 4th of September was Violet's phone call? Or the voicemail message? Okay, interesting. So the organ donor, I apologise. The organ donor was the owner of the website, of the Jigsaw Rules website. I apologise, I couldn't quite remember. So he's the one that hasn't been contacting Jacob in a while. Violet, I agree with you. I think Jacob should stop doing this. I don't think it's a good idea. I think that might be the reason why the organ donor stopped contacting him. Is because he's like, look, you're getting too deep into this. I don't want to get involved. And he stopped contacted him. I think Mark has either done the same or he's dead. I don't really know which one it is. who was the police guy? Justin. So Justin was the police officer, and both of them have kind of said to like stay away, just stop doing what you're doing. And it does seem that, yeah, Jacob is... And I said this with the previous episode, with episode 6, where it seemed like he's gone a little bit loopy and gone a bit obsessive with this. Sorry, I can't speak. Obsessive with this. And yeah, the fact that both of them are being like, you need to stop, you need to stay away from this, because you're getting in too deep with this. This isn't going to be good. And I'm saying the same thing. I'm thinking the same thing. The fact that Okay, so the fact that Violet is like, oh, it's interesting that you're uploading again. Because with episode 6, yeah, it was like, oh, it's been several months since I've done an upload, and this is what I'm doing, and now he's continued uploading. I think this is all going to go bad. I think what's going to happen is he might go in the same direction as Peter Strahm, where Officer Strahm ended up getting like quite obsessed with the Jigsaw cases and wanted to solve it, where people started getting suspicious of his behaviour and that false accusation of him being Jigsaw. People started believing it. So, ooh. Is it going to end up where Jacob's going to get framed? People are going to start thinking like he's the copycat? I don't know. Oh boy. But yeah. This is the last video I was going to react to in my reaction video for the Jigsaw Blogs. I will make this a more frequent thing. Yeah, I do wonder if he's going to start getting like falsely accused of being the new like Jigsaw copycat. Especially if your friend who's part of the police department is just like, yeah, maybe stop. Okay. Yeah, I want to make this more of a frequent thing now, though, because I know it's been ages since I last reacted to a Jigsaw Blogs video, so I do apologise for that. I'm thinking of doing this like monthly now, just to keep things up and, you know, keep things progressing. Because I do really like these. I think they're really, really interesting. I know I had a couple of like narrative and sort of world building problems with episode 6. However, overall, I think these are really interesting, and I still really like this universe that's been created. So yeah, I do want to make this a more frequent thing and a more frequent reaction series. I don't know, maybe it can be, yeah, monthly, like what I did with the Sandersides last year. I mean, this would be very different, but yeah. Same kind of timing idea and upload idea. But this was my reaction to episode 5, 6 and the further evidence 1 and 2 videos of the Jigsaw Blogs. That was very mouthy, but that was a long sentence. But yeah, I will put the Jigsaw Blogs playlist in the video description down below, so you guys can go off and watch this for yourselves. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all soon. Bye!